From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Ants Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Well, Haas Farms is no longer taking in entries for their light decorating contest, but I'm really excited. I got a call today, and they want me to be one of the judges for the light decorating contest. So be on the lookout for that. It's the Haas Farms Light Decorating Contest. I'll, of course, have more on that later on where you can find the results and where you can find the houses, all that good stuff. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so there is a lot to talk about. So here's what I want you to do this evening. Sit down, grab a loved one, maybe pop up some popcorn, get something to drink, because there are a lot of things to talk about. Number one, rain, possible thunderstorms, and the potential for flooding. Now, with all the microclimates in the area, we've got a lot of different things here. Snow with these storms will start off fairly high, but eventually drop to as low as 3,000 feet with some chain requirements in the higher elevations. Now, we're also talking about some winds, southwest winds in the mountains on Wednesday. And we're talking about actually a wind advisory, which we'll get into here in a little bit later. Also, for the coast, there's beach hazards and surf advisories. So let's get right to it. Let's start with the overall picture. Now, what we've got here is this atmospheric river heading right into the Pacific Northwest. Washington, Oregon, they've been dealing with heavy rainfall. Now, we're going to watch all of this push to the south and east, and we will then get caught up in that rain. Heavy at times for some of us, could see some thunderstorms. Now, right here behind this cold front, you see these speckled clouds? That's colder air. This is something we talk a lot about during the winter months. And that colder air is getting wrapped up around that area of low pressure. And that colder air also helps to destabilize the atmosphere. So when it moves through, we also see the potential for thunderstorms in the forecast. That could mean some heavy downpours. It could mean some hail, gusty winds. All right, so we take a look at 5 o'clock Wednesday morning. There's that main band of line of rain that is pushing through. Now, Futurecast tends to overdo it on the overall intensity. Looking at this looks very intense. And yes, it will be intense for some of us at times. Gusty winds and heavy rainfall at times as well. Now, we're going to push you into the mid-morning hours. Now that main band of rain is heading through the valley. Now, the valley is seeing some decent rain. Now, I want you to take note of the fact that we're not seeing a lot of snow, at least in the lower elevations. You see this right here? These are mainly elevations above 6,000 feet, but that is heavy snow. So Mount Shasta, the mountain Mount Shasta, right, is going to see a lot of snow. This is great, right? And especially even down at the ski park, you know, we're looking at elevations probably above 6,000 feet to start off with. So no need to worry because they will eventually lower. But you can see 10 a.m., right? Now we're going to push you into 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Now that band of rain is off to the east. Once again, above 6,000 feet, we're seeing heavy snow. What we're looking at here is Lassen Volcanic National Park. Going to be looking at a lot of snow on the peak there as well. And there you can see Cedar out towards the Warner Mountains, right? We're seeing Cedar Pass, looking at some of that snow as well, and down over some of the higher elevations of the Sierra. Now look what's happening behind it. You see how we're not seeing the heavy rainfall, but these spotty showers indicating the potential for a straight thunderstorm now, because the colder and unstable air at this point has moved in. There's 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Now we're beginning to see the snow levels slowly drop into the late afternoon hours. Okay, so we're going to take you to about 8 p.m. You see how we're seeing the potential for showers and thunderstorms. But now we're beginning to see more blue on the map. So what this tells us is snow levels are beginning to drop by Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. Now take a look at Thursday morning. We have another disturbance pushing through. This is going to bring us another round of probably unwelcomed rainfall for the North Coast, because they're already most likely going to be dealing with flooding here on Wednesday. We could be dealing with more flooding going into Thursday as well, but we're also seeing that snow getting down to about 3,000 feet on Thursday. There's 9 a.m. Thursday, a lot more snow on the map here. Bernie, Mount Shasta City, Wairika, El Turris, Susanville, even Shingletown could be looking at least some light accumulating snow at this point. All right, and there you can see also the potential for thunderstorms in the forecast here, 2 p.m. on Thursday. All right, so we're still seeing that potential for snow in the higher elevations. Now let's take it to 5 p.m. Thursday, mainly the snow flurries, again, down to about 3,000 feet. Now it is showing that snow really close to Hayfork and even Weaverville. It's not out of the question at some point during the day on Thursday for Hayfork and Weaverville to maybe even see a rain-snow mix. But I'm not anticipating any accumulating snow for Weaverville or Hayfork. It's, again, 3,000 feet, and really accumulating snow, you're probably going to have to go about 3,500 to 4,000 feet. There you can see 10 p.m. Thursday, still some leftover lingering snow flurries, but that will all pretty much be gone by Friday. All right, now let's kind of switch gears, talk about the rainfall totals, and there you can see these are their estimates. We could see upwards of, I think, over 1/2 inch of rain in the valley and approaching maybe even an inch of rain for some spots as well. There you can see the heavier rainfall off to the north and west. Now, we're talking about the heavy rainfall, flood alert. There is a flood watch for tonight through Wednesday night, and this may actually end up getting extended into Thursday as we see that next round of heavy rainfall. All right, now we take a look at the forecast snow totals. Now, this is the latest data coming in. Now, you're seeing very heavy snowfall in the highest of elevations. Trinity Alps, the Marble Mountains, Mount Shasta, the mountain, is seeing a lot of snow. There are the Warner Mountains. There are some of the Sierra as well, and not to mention the Southern Cascades. So places like Mount Shasta City, Chester, yeah, you could see a couple of inches of snow. I think it might be underdoing it for Alturas. You might see more than under an inch. An inch or two of snow is not out of the question here. Susanville, you can see some snow as well. But as I mentioned, Weaverville, Hayfork, maybe a mix, but I'm not anticipating any accumulating snow for you. Now, there are winter weather advisories, winter weather alerts actually, for the areas in purple here, Siskiyou, Modoc County, and the mountains east of the valley. Now, this is where we're going to see the biggest concern when it comes to travel, because this is a winter weather advisory mainly for elevations above 3,500 feet. So on I-5, there could be the potential for chain requirements around Mount Shasta City northward, right? We're talking about the potential for chain requirements, a lot of them actually, as you start heading east of I-5. This is where we typically start to see most of the chain requirements during these snow events. Now, when we're talking west of I-5, maybe on Highway 36 west of I-5, and maybe just maybe some light accumulating snow, say on Buckhorn Summit, Oregon Mountain, maybe Berry Summit, but that might be pushing it. I don't anticipate there to be big problems with snow on Highway 299, but we could be looking at the potential for some mudslides and debris flows. We got to be on the lookout for that. Keep in mind, when we're talking heavy rainfall in those lower elevations, that could create problems with some localized flooding on some of the mountain highways. And again, maybe some mudslides and debris flow, something you have to watch. All right, so just some winter weather driving tips that coming in from Caltrans. There you can see what we're seeing here is check those road conditions often. Go to quickmax.com with Caltrans to check that. Of course, all the different things, making sure you've got snacks, things to kind of keep you warm in case you get stalled out. So again, be sure to check quickmaps.com before you head on out. All right, here's what we got going on here. 5 p.m. on Saturday. Now the long range is what we're going here, right? You can see maybe the potential for some showers up to the north. And that's the case on Sunday. That's the case on Monday as well, actually, right? And then on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, I think everybody will see a break. But I really think that the bulk of anything that we see when I've been talking about is going to be tomorrow and Thursday. Anything after that's going to be pretty minimal. All right. More hazards to tell you about, not the winds right now, okay? So you can see Siskiyou County, northeast Siskiyou County, and not to mention Modoc County. Now, it's going to be gusty also. I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing some advisories there as well. We could see gusts over 30, 40, even close to 50 miles per hour. This, of course, is a concern when you're driving a big rig, especially down I-5. So just be aware of that. And, of course, potential for power outages as well. We take a look at the forecast winds, taking you through the day on Wednesday. It's mainly Siskiyou, Modoc, and eastern mountains that we're seeing some of those stronger winds. They could probably get even stronger here as we go into the midday on Wednesday. See how those winds are getting really strong. But we're seeing a downward trend in those winds here late in the day Wednesday. And then Thursday, I don't anticipate the winds to be as strong, although it may be a little breezy in some areas for your Thursday as well. All right, so let's take a look at the overall trend, okay? Because you can see here as we go into Saturday, Sunday, we have this very weak ridge of high pressure, which is going to be a break for most of us going through the weekend. Maybe another little bit of a break coming in Tuesday, that weak ridge. But as we go down the pike here, we go into Wednesday, Thursday, even into that next Friday and that next Saturday, you see this is kind of where the jet stream is. So essentially what happens is you get these little disturbances like the one right here, you see another one right here, and then you can see another one here. Now this is a good sign when we look at the long range, because what this tells us is that there's the potential for a series of storms that could come in, and that will mean more rain and the potential for some snow in the higher elevations. Now this is not guaranteed, but that's the overall trend that I'm kind of seeing at this point. A little bit of light at the end of the tunnel if you're looking for more rain and snow. Here are your wave heights. You can see those wave heights are going to be dropping as we go into Wednesday afternoon, and not to mention Thursday afternoon, although they're still fairly high, around 13 to 14 feet. Here's your marine forecast for your Wednesday. Southwest winds at 10 to 15 knots. You can see those different directions with the waves, and of course the overall length, magnitude of them as well. And there's a small craft advisory through tomorrow morning. More alerts to tell you about. Can you believe it? I'm kind of out of breath here. I feel like I'm running a marathon here. So we've got a high surf advisory until 8 o'clock Wednesday morning. Just not a good idea to be out there surfing, bottom line. Not a good idea to be out there in the water. We also have a beach hazard statement also until 8 o'clock Wednesday morning. Now, sneaker waves is usually what we talk about. And sneaker waves are, you know, you're looking out the ocean, you get this sudden surge of water that can come in unexpectedly. And that's typically when it's the most dangerous, when it kind of catches you off guard. Say maybe you're rock hopping or you're just kind of skimming the beach here, and then suddenly this big rush of water can come in, and unfortunately that can sweep you away. And that's where things can get very dangerous. So just be aware of that. Don't turn your back to the ocean here today or going into tomorrow morning as well. All right, so here's kind of wrapping up the forecast now, right? Let's get into it. Tonight, yeah, we got the clouds moving in. It will be dry tonight. But by tomorrow morning, that rain begins to move in for the coast. And then progressively, in the mid-morning hours, we see the rain making its way into the valley, and then in the afternoon hours, it's making its way off to the east. Thunderstorms are not out of the question for the valley. Thunderstorms are not out of the question for the coast and the inland areas as well, and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm for some of the higher elevations. So let's get you through the 7-day forecast, looking at Mount Shasta, high snow levels across the board for tomorrow. I'm not concerned about chain requirements tomorrow, but with the potential for heavy rainfall, especially west of I-5, mudslides and debris flows are something we'll have to be on the lookout for. Thursday, the snow levels are dropping. I've got them as low as 3,000 feet here. As you head into the Sierra, closer to about 4,000 feet, but we're talking about a lot of chain requirements most likely on Thursday. Break on Friday, maybe some activity coming in over the weekend for some of us, especially to the north and west. So Siskiyou County, Del Norte County, maybe even Modoc County, a chance over the weekend into Monday, but not a lot of activity. Here's what it looks like in the valley. Now, don't look at this and go, wow, a lot of lightning strikes in there. There's a chance for thunderstorms, and I just want to put that in there just so you're aware of that, so you don't get surprised if you hear a few rumbles of thunder out there. Otherwise, we're talking about some good rainfall, especially on Wednesday, and then maybe some isolated storms developing for Thursday afternoon. By Friday, it dries out, and we keep it dry going through the weekend and into next week. Your 7-day outlook for the coast, chance for thunderstorms as well for both Wednesday and Thursday, potential for flooding. And then Friday, we've got dry conditions and then maybe some showers. Now, what we're seeing here for Saturday, Sunday, Monday for both the coast and inland are just light showers, and I don't think it's going to create any more problems on top of any flooding that we may see. It'll just be some leftover light showers here and there. We're going to be skimmed, if you will, by these storm systems pushing through the Pacific Northwest. But I do expect places like Weaverville and Trinity County, it will be dry for the most part through the weekend and into early next week.